Hey, everybody, it's your old pal Eric Zane for one of my new favorite sponsors, ExpressVPN. Look, going online without ExpressVPN, listen to this illustration. It's like leaving your laptop unattended at the coffee shop when you run to the bathroom. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I might actually do that. Anyway, most of the time you're probably fine, but what if one day you come out of the bathroom and the laptop is gone? You're like, oh, no. Anyway, the question might be easy. What is ExpressVPN all about? Look, every time you connect to an unencrypted network, cafes, hotels, airports, etc., your online data is not secure. Any hacker on the same network can gain access and steal your personal data, passwords, bank logins, you name it. And it doesn't take much technical knowledge to hack someone. Don't believe me? Look it up. Just some cheap hardware is needed. A smart 12-year-old could do it. My God. Your data is valuable. Hackers can make up to $1,000 a person selling personal info on the dark web. ExpressVPN stops hackers from stealing your data by creating a secure, encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet. Tunnels are good. Now, it's true. It would take a hacker with a supercomputer over 1 billion years to get past ExpressVPN's encryption. And I didn't just pull that out of my you-know-what. Easy to use. Fire up the app and click one button to get protected. Every time I take my show on the road, I depend on ExpressVPN. I don't want my stuff exposed to some scumbag. Secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/Zane. That's expressvpn.com/Zane. And you get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/Zane. Hello, my friends. This is Act 1 of the July 16th Eric Zane Show audio podcast. As soon as it's done, make sure you check out Act number 2. That's one show, Act 1 and Act 2, every day. That's how we publish them on the Eric Zane Show podcast. Enjoy Act 1. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures each and every day from right here. So glad you are joining me today. The thing to do, apparently, is there's Patrick detailed it, audience member Patrick, who's just amazing. He says, it seems like the things EZ hears regularly are move on, grow up, shut the fuck up, bitter old man, has been, washed up, and on and on and on. And this stems quite literally from doing nothing other than what I have done every day since I was about 14. I'm just, what the fuck? When I'm sitting here doing what I do, making comments about everything, as I always have, the idea that everybody suddenly is like, oh my God, can you believe what he said and did? Oh, I'm so offended. What a bunch of soft fucking pricks. Jesus Christ. And honestly, Mason Blue says, I think the camera's too close. The dog's photo was cut off. Yeah, let's not get bogged down with the details. I'm starting off on a good rant. The idea that this all comes to us because of, just various shit I say, and I happen to make those comments that Kelly is underpaid and that Maitland is horrible. And then I didn't post it on segment 18. Someone else did. And then the pitchforks and the tiki torches were out. And I just watching it all unfold. But then the one that stood out was Joshua Denham, that fat fuck from Meal Team 6, who said, I live in his town. Okay? And if I see him, I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. And I was like, well, why wait? If you're that close, come see me. I gave him my fucking address and waited. Did he arrive on the scene? No. Was I ready to go in front of my house with a couple of chairs? Yeah, I was. It was Sunday. I stopped mowing the lawn, waited out front for this fucking fat bastard to show up. He did not. And by the way, when he first posted that, he called me a spineless fuck. Well, I don't know how spineless that is. I think that's pretty fucking ballsy. I don't know what the fuck this guy's capable of. I think it's ballsy also because I risk getting the fuck beat out of me by an Irish redhead ball of fury who could kick my ass, my wife. Why do you put us in jeopardy like this? I go, you're not in jeopardy. Well, what if he's crazy? I go, there's nothing I can't handle. I have support that travels at 1,200 feet per second and has a hollow point. Don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. Tyler says ballsy or stupid or both. I don't think it's stupid at all. Ballsy always cancels out stupid, in my opinion, unless if it doesn't work out for you. So, I guess some Jersey fuck saw that I shot a video because a fucking fat prick never showed up at my house. And so I shot a video out in the front, just talking it out with Pooh Bear. And it was cool. And for some reason, that video in particular has gotten thousands of views, like 15,000 views. And I can't figure out why. Excuse me, I got to finish this coffee. I know that's a pause, and we can't have pauses on the podcast. I can't listen to a show because he pauses. Fucking moron. So this fucking idiot, this John Wojcicki, he reached out to me through Messenger. He wrote, "This is not a response to this video. I did not watch it, but grow the fuck up and move on." What? Well, that is a response to the video. Because I wrote, "Easy waits for local porker." That's absolutely a response to the video. I guess in general, he wants me to grow up and move on. Look, I have been incredibly consistent over the years. I acted like this much of a fuckface when I was very, very young, and I've only improved. This is what I excel at, and that's what I'm selling. If you're buying, I'm going to keep doing it. If nobody bought it, I wouldn't do it. This is another example. Somebody, oh yeah, grow the fuck up and move on. I have. Wait a minute. Are we talking about, I'm talking about inviting a guy over my house. I mean, I've heard move on from making fun of free Bearnomics. Now I got to move on from talk. Everybody's telling me to move on. That's why I titled this podcast, Everybody's Trying to Tell Me What the Fuck to Do. And my only advice to me is don't listen to anybody. Can you imagine if I woke up every day and went, oh God, it's another day of me being a fucking pussy. I think I'm going to check and see what everybody wants me to do. And then I'm going to do it because I'm a fucking pussy. You would hate my fucking guts. That's the only reason why you're here. It's because I don't give a fuck. And I talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about, and nobody tells me what to fucking do. Jesus Christ. So I wrote to this guy. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I was polite at first. I need some context. What is this about? And then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I wrote, and don't talk to me like that. I figure that's a fair request. This stupid cunt said nothing, so I followed it up with good talk, pussy, and then I posted it on my Facebook. I'm all about checks and balances. If somebody tries to fuck with me, I'm going to try to fuck with them. Okay? Patrick says, I love that he proclaims that he didn't watch the video as if that will add some extra sting. Adam says, wait, didn't watch the video you posted and said this is not a response, but then makes a response by telling you to grow up and get over it. That makes zero sense. This is why people shouldn't vote or breed. Precisely. Matt says, imagine if people had to say things to other people's face rather than nearly anonymously, which is why I reached out to Meal Team 6. And I said, yeah, just come say it to my face. Don't tough talk me on the goddamn internet. I'm right here. Here's my address. Come see me. What do you want to say? What a fucking pussy. Hank says something. I don't agree with everything you say and still think you're a great dude. How are people out in the world only surrounded by people that share every opinion they do? Wild. I don't know what the fuck that even means. Rob wrote, I wonder what messages will be in his Facebook Messenger inbox in the morning. What did you do, Rob? Did you write something nasty to that guy? All right. God damn. Paul Forster says EZ is the original Slim Shady. Linda says we all know how telling you what to do works out. You know, though, if it's something as mindless as grow the fuck up, I can't deal with that. But I do listen to advice all the goddamn time. Why do you think I have show advisor Linda here? She helps me regularly. In a serious conversation, I will absolutely take advice. But if someone's going to come at me guns a fucking blazing, fuck you. Hollywood Joe says, I think it's great you call people and you sat outside waiting for someone proves that most people are all talk. Keyboard warriors. Linda says, I meant publicly telling you what to do. Yeah, it's something that I've been dealing with for some time. But welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. For those of you that are watching on Facebook and YouTube, I'm about to kick you out because the show is going to exist for the rest of the day on Twitch only. That means you've got to go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live or download the Twitch app and search Eric Zane Live. Follow the show there. It's uninterrupted. I'm trying to get as many audience as I can over the years over to Twitch to watch it in its entirety. So please do that. I'm not on X right now because Elon Musk just made a change. Apparently, you can no longer do live videos on X unless you have the blue check mark, which you have to pay for. And I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. You know, for the few hundred people that watch on there, whatever. But yeah, I think that might actually work out for me. I don't know how much it costs to be on X Premium or whatever, but I've never done that. Corey says Elon has fucked up that site so bad. Why? What has he done? Mason Blue says, do you need a blue check to watch live videos? Now that I don't know. But I know that if I were to put a live video out on X, I would have to have the blue check mark as the creator. I am the creator. Thou shalt bow before me. So, yeah, anyway. Sorry, just got a text. Corey says he removed the moderation team, and it's filled with porn bots now in all the comments. So? Corey says every ad I see on there is some pro-Trumper or conservative Republican thing. Yeah, that's okay. Makes the world go round. It's got to make money somehow, right? I don't know. I'm just bullshitting. Whatever. All right. And the audio podcast of this is available wherever you download shows. I post 2 acts every day. The whole show is split right down the middle. So it'll show up as 2 spots in your feed. Same day, same date. Act 1, Act 2. Different show notes in terms of the topics. All right. So that would be something you can do. And as usual, I'm on Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane, where this week it is another Big Fraud Wednesday. Tomorrow, EZ, Ben Glaze, another edition of Who Are These Free Beers? We are going to break down the great free beer thirst trap debate. So that is something that we will be starting at about 6:15 Eastern time for Who Are These Free Beers tomorrow, followed by the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. Couple questions about podcasting. Chris says, are you on Rumble and Kick like your biggest fan, Jamingo? No, I'm not. Chris also asks, is Act 1 and Act 2 for ad revenue? I always wondered why you didn't do that more, LOL. Yes, that is 100% accurate. So, you know those ads you hear before my show? Sometimes I voice them for various products, services, or events. And then you'll also hear ads for other companies not voiced by me. I get money for every single one of those. So I had resisted doing this, but there is an undeniable amount of ad revenue that I am leaving on the table by not posting more. If I just post one show a day, that's fine. But wouldn't it be great if with just very little inconvenience to you, I could double my money? So that's what I'm effectively doing. Because those ads show up in front of and during both of those shows. So it's just another way your old pal EZ moves the meter. Thank you for your patience in that and not being too resistant to the change. Badger says, that's why we love the skip 15-second button. Oh, God, I wish you wouldn't do that. Look, at the very least, don't do skip 15 during the ones that I voice. Chris says, hey, EZ, I just heard a pause. All right. Chris says, I don't blame you, Toon Man. Matt H., who is the next door neighbor of royalty on this show, that would be Mr. Lutz, who is the ex-husband of the former Mrs. Lutz, who is now Mrs. Freebeer. Matt is the hand of the king. Talking about our pal Freebeer. Says, ha, ha, ha. This is his opinion. Greg's so full of shit. Quote, I accidentally shared Kelly's picture. Fuck you, Freebeer. There's been speculation about that. That Freebeer was pounding his pud to Kelly's sweet ass, and his load hit the share button. My God. Chris said he is no longer going to listen because I just paused there. So tomorrow, it is a Big Fraud Wednesday. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. For those of you on Facebook and YouTube, I now send you on your way. Thank you for being here, and I will talk to you later on. Bye-bye. Okay, now they're gone. Facebook and Twitch brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. Me on X, my posts, not exactly my live stream right now because it's not available. X is sponsored by Blue Frost IT. I have a brand new sponsor on the show. It is Kuiper Tree Care. The story goes, I needed a tree removed. My man shows up. His name is Ben. He's going to cut down this tree. I have this ugly-ass pear tree. That's the tree that when I was cutting it, the saw slipped and I almost cut my foot off. Yeah, that thing's finally leaving. And I've got this maple out front. I go, hey, man, yeah, so I want that one gone. And then grind down the stump, get rid of everything, and then can you trim this one? This maple tree is covering anything. I need more people to see my house so that when they come over to talk to me about not moving on, they'll know where to find me. He goes, easy, I got you. I go, all right, cool. So that's one thing. The next thing is, I see your signs all over the place, but I think more people should know about you. I want to talk about you on my podcast. Let's get going. Let's fucking, get you going with a marketing plan. He goes, all right, well, tell me what you're thinking. So I came up with something, and this is what I'd like you to do. When it comes to anything concerning trees, land clearing, hazardous tree removal, pruning, or any other tree care, you need to reach out to Kuiper Tree Care. To do that, you go to KuiperTreeCare.com, not Kevin Kuiper's. That's Kuiper, KuiperTreeCare.com. When you go to the contact section of the website, there's everything you need to know. One of the things with companies that take care of trees is you got one guy running the show, one-man show, usually not insured. Shows up in a beat-down truck. You leave a message for him. He calls you back in like 6 weeks because he's so swamped. You're going to hear from my friends at Kuiper Tree Care right away. That's how it worked for me. That's how I got the ball rolling. So you're going to go to Kuiper, Kuiper, treecare.com, and then click on Contact, and away you go. If you are in West Michigan, this is who you need to reach out to. You can get all of these various types of services from these folks there. Now, 3 of the people that work at Kuiper Tree Care are certified arborists. I guess that's, you're an expert on trees. And that requires a technical expertise that Chuck in a truck does not have when he comes rolling up to your house in his beat down 2003 Silverado with his ass crack hanging out. This is a professional organization that's going to give you the best advice when it comes to removing your trees or trimming your trees, because Chuck in a truck's going to trim that shit, and then your tree's going to be dead. And you're going to be like, well, what the hell happened? It's because you didn't have a certified arborist do it appropriately. That's what you're going to get with Kuiper Tree Care. Now, I'll be totally honest with you. If you call Chuck in a truck, you're probably going to pay less for his pile of shit services. Okay? And the reason why is because he's a Chuck in a truck. When it comes to your tree care, you don't want Chuck in a truck. Any idiot could do that. You want professionals. That's why Kuiper Tree Care is #1 in West Michigan. Head to their website, KuiperTreeCare.com, and then click on Contact, and away you go. Chris says, Chuck in a truck? More like Dean the Creep. Amy says, don't cut your foot off trimming trees. Hire Kuiper Tree Care. Maureen says, fun fact, Easy, the guy who adopted my foster dog, Jet, works for Kuiper Tree Care. Oh, my God. Tyler says you might pay a little more for less ass crack. No downside. Bob says, what about Dan in a van? Oh, yeah, you want to avoid Dan in a van. He's probably into kids. All right. Rich says, we've been saying over a year now that free beer has a thing for Kelly. Well, in your opinion, I can definitely understand where you're coming from. Corey says, do the guys at Kuiper Tree Care, do they wear Crocs when cutting trees? I doubt it. I'm sure that they don't go cheap on the protective gear. All right. Thank you to them. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to mortgages, remember, buy now, refinance later with the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. 231-332-6505. That's 231-332-6505. The speed at which this process worked for my daughter and my son-in-law was unbelievable. It was a phone call. It was a face-to-face. 1 day later, approved. Home they were looking for cost $310. They were approved for $360. Let the bidding war begin. Boom. A day later, day and a half later, they put in a bid. Day and a half after that, they got the house. Awesome. Thank you, Mario. You can take advantage of Mario's services as a mortgage professional from anywhere in the U.S. at 231-332-6505. That's 231-332-6505. It is hard not to think. It is hard not to think that Joe Biden tried to kill Donald Trump. All right? Hear me out on this. The way this lays out, it's all happened very fast. Trump is convicted of whatever the fuck it was, hush money, porn star shit. Immediately, it's clear the verdict has helped him. Further down the road, debate happens. Catastrophe. Undecided voters losing faith rapidly. And I think that that's what this next election boils down to. And I think most of them have. I was talking to a pal the other day, earlier. It was last night, in fact, about this election. And he said, look, I don't know if this changes anything, EZ. The Democrats have dug in their heels, and so have the Republicans. But I was like, yeah, I'm not so sure. They may have, but you've got people that are still on the fence. You might not know them. But case in point, where I live right here, it is an absolute toss-up as to who is going to win this state. And Biden has to. He has to win this. And there's a number of undecided voters right here in the great state of Michigan. So here they are. They see this horrible debate performance with this stricken, mentally defective shell of a human being is there. Oh, God, it was so bad. Quick way to make everybody, first of all, forget about it and then eliminate the competition is an assassination attempt. Now, I don't believe this. I don't. But it's easy to understand why people do. More people than ever do not trust the government. There's never been a higher amount of distrust towards the government. So hot on the heels of Trump surging in polls, of him just letting Biden lose the election. The order is made. Some patsy is going to get up on a roof and fire a shot. Now, listen, again, I don't believe this, but it's easy to understand why people might. Because that doesn't make any sense, just letting him go up there. I mean, is it going to be like, the only way that would work if they said to him, look, no one's going to shoot you. And the idiot fell for it. But what about the idea that maybe they knew there was something going on? They let it happen. The only problem is the guy missed. He fucking missed the shot. I just cannot get past. I think the biggest glaring thing is that vulnerability. You know, how close that guy was. And how that rooftop wasn't even considered. It wasn't canvassed. And then other rooftops, yes. How good guys were looking at him waiting. And then the guy opens fire, and then boom, they open fire. What's going on with that? That's very fishy to me. Because when you saw the sniper shoot at the bad guy, the sniper's weapon the good guy's weapon was pointed at the bad guy. It wasn't like he had to move the gun at all. He was lined up, it appeared. Of course, I wasn't looking to the scope, but from what we saw, him with the gun on the tripod aimed in the direction of the bad guy, shots rang out. He was opening fire shortly thereafter. Dead bad guy. That's fucking crazy to me. Aram says, why would Biden hire an amateur to take the shot? I don't know. Don't know. Don't even know if Biden would be aware of it. Maybe there are forces greater than him collectively that are at work. I don't believe this, but I believe more now than I did yesterday. There's a lot of grief going the way to Amanda, who suggested on this show, the Patreon yesterday, Secret Service, I said Social Security, Secret Service can't fire until they fire on the president. And I don't know about that. In fact, I was reading a quote from the article that she sent me from a right-funded media platform that talks about the rules of engagement. And this is what that reads. A source within the Secret Service community, which that doesn't mean anything. A source within the Secret Service community tells Real Clear Politics that the agency's rules of engagement in this situation are to wait until the president is fired upon to return fire. That's not enough to convince me with a source within the Secret Service community. Because then this quote-unquote source said, you want to take a shot, then find out the guy was holding a telescope? The source asked, which is what she regurgitated on our show yesterday. The Secret Service is by nature reactive, and you better be right when you do react, or you're fucked. Yeah, that really sounds like a very reliable source. I'm not buying that from that source. Mason Blue says, so the bad guys get the first shot? I don't know about that. They don't. I don't believe that either. I'm not an expert, and I have no reason to back it up. But are you telling me that you can just walk up to the president and just hold a gun on him, and as long as you don't pull the trigger, no one's going to blow your fucking head off? Adam says there's no way that is true. If the Secret Service thinks you're a threat, you're dead. Chris writes, hey, that's page 52 of CIA training. Come on, EZ, grow up. Jeremy adds, Secret Service has the most powerful rifle available. No money for binoculars, though, obviously. I've written on this credible news source, Real Clear Politics, funded by alt-right sources, that the rules of engagement are such that they can't fire unless fired on the president. Tyler says, quote, sir, I have a clear shot. Hold your fire. They might be deer hunting from across the rally. Adam says, however, is there an example of when the Secret Service killed an assassin before the assassin fired? I don't know. If I'm the Secret Service, you shoot first, ask questions later. And I'm sure that's what it should be, but not in this case. There's no question. It's already been established. And by the way, July 22nd, people have already been called to a Senate hearing with questions about this. Questions that I'm asking right here will be asked of people involved from the top down as to what happened. And I don't think the response of, well, we just missed it. It was an oopsie. I don't think that's going to fly. Corey suggests you can also shoot first if the shooter is black. Chris says, how did the old boy get up there? I heard police were in the building that he climbed. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard that all buildings in situations like this where someone as high up as like Trump would show up, there's going to be sanitized buildings. Everyone involved with the building, there's background checks, and then all those buildings are secure. You can't just walk in to use the bathroom or something like that. You can't approach the high ground and just climb it. The sources on this story are unreliable. Unlike Amanda, I'm not going to just count on everything, but one of the things I saw was that the shooter bought a ladder beforehand and carried it in. That's been suggested. And I'm like, I can't say that I believe that. I keep hearing about a ladder to get up there. Now, I don't know, maybe it's a ladder that's attached to the building. But the idea that he, the day before, went to Home Depot to get a ladder and then was strutting onto the grounds with a rifle over one shoulder and a fucking ladder over the next, and then they see him climb up there. People were watching him. Remember a guy with the Trump hat doing the interview with the BBC? He's like, oh, yeah, we were watching. We're like, hey, there's an assassin up there. The fact that the cop was hoisted up onto the roof, saw the bad guy pointed the rifle at the cop took cover. Bob says the building had a fixed ladder on the side. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. The fact that somebody will even put out in a publication, oh yeah, he went to Home Depot and got a ladder beforehand. Chris adds, the only suspicious thing they found on his phone was he was a subscriber to the Boomer Bunker. It's very easy right now, based on what we know, to say Joe Biden tried to murder Donald Trump. Very easy. Do I believe that? Again, no, I do not. But in the day and age we live in, this is an easy conspiracy theory. This one's a piece of cake. This one makes Oswald look like he acted alone. which I believe that too. People think I'm crazy. Aram adds, is it possible that the guy was a real professional and Trump hired him to take the shot? I don't believe that. Again, Trump was already going to win. Aside from everything I've said, the plan backfires. Bad guy misses. Now Secret Service, who already are looking at him apparently, blow him away. He's dead. Trump survives, galvanizing his base even more. And you've got a guy saying, fuck you, after he gets shot in the ear against an elderly, sickly, mentally compromised man who isn't sure who his vice president is, referring to his vice president as Vice President Trump. This is a goddamn Tom Clancy book, is what this is. Corey says this is kind of like when the Germans tried to kill Hitler with a bomb, but they put it in the wrong spot. That's true. I remember reading about that. I saw what Nick is referencing right before the shots. There's a video of Secret Service clearing people from around the stage. I think they knew something was up. Shooter was on the backside of the roof and not visible until he peeked over the top. Yes. So imagine you're on a roof and you kind of go over the top of the roof. Your head's going to be up there. You might see an arm. You might see the position of a person holding a rifle. Talk about, this is the ultimate making lemonade. Trump gets shot in the ear, survives. Sadly, innocent bystander killed. He motherfucks the shooter with blood pouring off his face. Everybody thinks he looks like a goddamn badass. Photographer takes iconic picture that will be known forever. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most wild things that I think is outside of Kennedy getting shot. I am very anxious and excited to hear what is going to be said in that Senate hearing about this assassination attempt. Corey says Trump has a few months to say stupid stuff and mess this up. Okay, man, there's no way. He can say nothing wrong. You noticed in the debate, he was composed and calm. He's letting Biden hang himself. He already did. He already won. Biden was on Lester Holt the other night, losing his shit in a combative interview. And he's blaming Lester Holt and NBC for not talking about the problems Trump had during the debate. Trump in the debate did what everybody does in debates. Bullshits. Everything that came out of Trump's mouth was a lie. Everything. So Biden says to Lester Holt, why didn't you, come on, man. Why didn't you talk about all the lies he said? 27 lies, he said. Why didn't you talk about that? And Lester Holt, I wish he would have said, well, we didn't talk about the lies because there's only so much room to talk about you and how retarded you've become. That's what he should have done. But instead, he kind of just was polite with President Biden. Awful. Mike says, I said it yesterday. This reminds me so much of Shooter with Mark Wahlberg. Haven't seen it. Tyler says, the only thing left for Trump to do now is to piss on the grave of the shooter. Dan says, how do they not have at least one drone with a thermal image camera lens on it? Well, that's a good question, and I'm sure that'll come up in that Senate hearing. It should. I don't know why that is. That seems like a very easy, effective way to keep an eye on things. That needed to be the most secure, one of the most secure places in the world in Pennsylvania. And I would say normally, whenever there's a visit like that, it's pretty well taken care of. And hell, thermal imaging, it was daytime. Fucking drunk fucker wearing the MAGA visor with the red hair saw him from the ground. Holy shit. As time passes and we get further removed from this assassination attempt, the Trump train continues to gather steam. Aram says the investigation will be interesting since Trump was the victim of the attack. He will want to find out who is really responsible for the attack and not just let the schemer throw just anyone under the bus. Carrig 87 says, wait, it was Peaceful Bullet. I'm not sure what that means, and I don't recognize your name, so you may be new, but no apologies. All right. So that's my way of speculating without actually committing, because I'm not going to commit to that saga there, that tale that I just spun. No. But what I will do is throw that out there because that's what people are suggesting or what they could believe. And I believe it's very, very easy for them to believe that, and I don't fucking blame them. Corey says the National Rifle Association has been weirdly silent. They could have spread the good guy with a gun message. I want you to go back and read what you wrote there. They could have spread the good guy with a gun message. Do you ever wonder about how many times a show you look like you're retarded with the things that you write that don't really make sense when you read them out loud? I want you to start taking your time, Corey, when you type things, so that I don't have to stop down and beat the shit out of you. Kenny used to do this all the time. You got to focus and write it out and then take half a second, read it. Does this make sense to EZ? Yes. Send. He says there was nothing wrong grammatically with that sentence. Well, grammatically, but sometimes they don't make sense. I'm just reading what you wrote, and you wrote they could have spread the good guy with a gun message. They could have spread the good guy with a gun message. So basically, to me, he's bread, and the gun message is peanut butter. Carrick says, are you talking about me? No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Corey. That's chronic mayhem. Aram says, what does it mean? Spread the good guy. Yeah, Corey, what do you mean by spread the good guy? You fuckstick? You can't say, no one on earth has ever said, spread the good guy. Can you give me another word for spread? Maybe this will make sense to me. Man, that's a odd way of writing it. You're kind of a fucking dumbass. Holy shit. Chris says, love some good guy spread. Tyler says, Who here prefers crunchy good guy over smooth good guy spread? I love smooth good guy spread. Nick writes, I think just a lone nut, no conspiracy. Guy has been force-fed anti-Trump media. Every speech and commercial is Trump. Of Trump is Hitler. Trump is going to turn dictator. America is doomed if elected. Some are dumb enough to believe it. So, all right, that's one thing about the guy who did the shooting. That concludes Act 1 of today's Eric Zane Show podcast. Act 2 is up right now. Just click on it and off you go. Enjoy Act 2. Thanks so much.